𝙤𙘘𝙘𝙧𝙘𝙧. It's okay, 𝙤𙘘𝙘𝙧𝙘𝙧. I was like, it's okay, I'm not tired. I was so scared. So that's why, guys, ask for, it's so obvious. Firstly, ask for consent. Second,
Okay, there's this book called How to Not Die Alone by Logan Ury. These behavior scientists also say that it's actually good to go out and date.
yeah, you gotta do some market research,
Yeah.
right? Some
Market
due
research.
diligence.
Loyalty, emotionally stable, kind, growth mindset, ability to make hard decisions, communicate well, fight well, and which side of you do they bring out?
Oh yeah, no, I was thinking we can do a quiz together.
Love language, I remember. The other one, I'm like, orange cat. Yeah,
Orange cat?
but
wait, we are compatible.
Really? Why are
I'm
you?
a hamster. Oh wait, it's not you. I think mine was a lion or something. Hi everyone, welcome to 𝙈𝙤𝙘𝙏𝙃. This is Joy and I have Alexis here as my co-host today. And today our topic is about love, relationships and dating.
In the spirit of Valentine's Day, which by the time this episode comes out, it's
Yeah.
probably 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. So recently, Valentine's Day, right, there was this very popular quiz going around.
Was it the one with the cats?
Yeah, it's a very cute one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's called the pawsona quiz. You can put a link below if you want to try. Very interesting. I think it's like some coding projects, yeah.
Oh really?
I
I think
know
it
it's
was
on-
super accurate.
Yeah,
Mine
it was on
Orange
GitHub
Cat.
or something.
Oh.
Orange Cat. You want to share yours?
Yes. So, Orange Cat, as you know of all orange cats, they're very unpredictable and silly and goofy. Wait, it sounds so weird, like me describing this about myself.
Okay, I help you say.
I'm unhinged. I'm an absolute menace. Oh, come on. Super expressive, go big or go home attitude. Do you agree?
I can't agree. I think you have a very fun personality, which is
That's
like, it
good.
reminds you of Orange Cat also.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
What's your famous quotes? I know you love me, can't blame me though. Dramatic
No,
sigh.
I feel like I would say that, but sarcastically.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you
it's
know?
like the sarcasm.
Yeah. Like I
Yeah.
would say that, but I'm not actually so self-absorbed.
Okay, but the good stuff though, always manage to make you laugh and smile. That I agree.
That's my goal.
Yes.
Even with friends.
I feel like when you're around Alexis, you'll laugh a lot.
That's good.
Completely oblivious to how hopelessly smitten they are with you.
What does that even mean? Like how hopelessly smitten I am with my partner,
Yeah.
and I don't know
You're unaware
how
of it.
in love I am.
Yeah.
Is it?
Do you
I
feel
like,
so?
I feel like I don't fall in love easily.
Oh, really?
Like, I fall into infatuation easily.
Oh, yeah.
Love,
There's
I'm
a
not
difference
sure.
there. Yeah.
But maybe now it's saying that I just don't know that I'm in love, even though I am.
Oh. So it's like you're not sure about how you feel.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I
Okay,
think
okay.
I am, but this test is telling me that I can't tell. Should I trust
Interesting.
GitHub?
Yeah.
What about yours?
Like some random university
Yeah,
students are doing this
exactly.
quiz and then everyone's just doing it.
I love doing these quizzes.
It's so
Like,
fun, right?
As long as it takes less than 5 minutes to do, I'm fine with doing it.
Mine's the hamster.
So cute.
The cozy companion, sweet, steady, makes you smile without even trying.
I think Joy, I mean her name is Joy, so yeah, she makes you happy. She's always smiling.
So I'm bringing joy.
Yeah. Comforting presence.
Okay, but I agree with like, the description words are adorably awkward, cheesy, can't stay still, nervous, chuckles, ticklish.
Ticklish. Are you ticklish?
I think so.
Don't worry, I won't try. Wait, pause. You know the
yeah.
are you ticklish question is such a loaded question. Because
Why?
if your answer is no, then they will still try to confirm it. But if you say yes, they will still tickle you. But you know, because we're in front of a camera, nah.
That's such an orange
I
cat
won't
thing to do.
anything. No, everyone does that. It's not just me, yeah. If you're close enough. We'll text you 30 updates a day, even if it's just I drop my toes. Really? I think we're too
Actually,
busy
not really.
for that.
Yeah, maybe if I'm more free.
Quiet in front of everyone but you. I don't think you're quiet. Do you think so?
I get what they mean though. It's like some things I only share to people I'm very close with. Yeah.
Low-key panics, high-key reliable.
Kind of true.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm nervous, I'll panic.
Yeah, but I think you have a good work ethic, so that's the reliable part. Worries about you in a cute way. Did you drink water, eat, breathe? Yeah, I
Actually,
think
that's
so.
me.
I think so too.
That's me.
Yeah. Cat and mouse romance. Scary X with softy.
Scary X.
Like, you know, cross. Wait,
Oh,
I actually don't know how to
Scary
how
and
to pronounce
softy.
this. And yeah, shy and super shy.
Interesting. When you talk about love, a lot of people will ask, what's your love language? Yeah. So what's yours, Alexis?
Guess? It's very common. It's honestly basic.
Quality time.
Yeah, and then there's one more. It's the top two for most people.
Words.
No, it's not.
Gifts.
No.
Top two. What other
It's the-
physical touch?
Yeah, I was about to say it's the top for guys, especially. It's always this two. Yeah. But I'm actually very averse to physical touch with people I don't like.
It's like only with your partner.
Correct. Like
I
with
understand.
friends, with anyone else, especially like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just like really, like in JC, you know how some girls like to hold hands, like girlfriends, normal girlfriends.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my friend would hold my hand, and I'll be so uncomfortable that I'll leave my hand open like this. And then after 5 minutes, I was like, I can't take this anymore. So I told her, do you want to hold my wrist? Yeah, and then she was like, what? You don't love me? And I was like, no. I'm just trying to like, I'm trying to show that I want to reach a compromise.
Yeah, some people just not as comfortable with physical touch, and that's normal. Yeah.
I used to hug people with one arm. Like, they will hug me with two arms, and I will like, keep the shoulder.
Alexis style.
Yeah, like a bro.
Bro hug.
Yeah, but I think I've adjusted over the years.
So now do you feel like you can hug someone?
Yeah, like
Like
after
hug a
being in a
friend?
girls' school for 4 years, like I've grown. What about you?
You can guess mine too.
I think because you guessed that mine was words of affirmation, that should be one of yours.
It's one of them. Yeah.
And is there a second one that's top?
Actually, yes. Actually, I retook it just now.
Oh,
Actually, last time it was quality time first.
okay. But now it's words of affirmation.
Yeah.
Then quality time.
No, the second one changed also. I was quite sure
Acts
it
of
changed quite
service.
drastically. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is quite cute, acts of service.
Yeah, I think that's nice too.
Yeah, it's like very practical things that like when they help you out, you know. Yeah, like things that you never thought of. And then you're like, oh, how did that person think of this?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's
nice.
a thought.
It's a
Yeah.
thought that counts.
But then, when I was doing the quiz, right, it's very hard to choose between the two. Sometimes it's like you need all of it.
Yeah. It's like the quiz just gives you two options, right? And it's kind of like a false dichotomy sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want any of these options.
Oh,
You have to choose it. Or you want both. Like, I would still appreciate the rest though. So I would say like, you can't do without any of the 5 languages.
Yeah.
Like, I still want gifts on Valentine's Day. You can't just like, oh, I'm spending time with you. That's your gift. Like, I'll be thrilled, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I feel like it's a mix of everything.
Yeah, all 5 is important. I feel like if there's like one lacking one, you would think extra hard on it. Like, why am I not receiving this part of like love?
I just realized I'm sitting this way, but the better side of my face is my left side.
Oh no.
Maybe we both face this way.
Yeah, I thought to your hair.
Damn it. Okay, your seat. Use this for the thumbnail.
Do you want to change? You
Do
can
you have a
change now.
preferred side of face?
Not really. I think I'm fine with both.
Okay, let's change.
Now, as moving on, another interesting question is: do you think the one exists? Do you believe in soulmates?
Oh, so like there's that one person that you have to find in your life.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Like, probability wise, there are what? How many billion? 7 to 8
billion,
billion
right?
people
Yeah.
in the world right now. There's definitely gonna be more than one possible soulmate or like match. If you want to get married, stay with one person for your whole life, that's also a choice. That's like a commitment. Like, you decide, okay, I'm not gonna find the rest of my possible soulmates. I'm just gonna choose this person and work towards it. Yeah, I think loving someone is not about finding the perfect person, but about loving them despite their flaws and also like working, be complementary with this person.
People who believe in the one and the soulmate, it ties into this study I read. Okay, there's this book called How to Not Die Alone by Logan Ury. She is the head of relationship science at Hinge and a Harvard behavior scientist. And so, right, she has this theory that there's 3 types of daters. So the first one is called the romanticizer. Okay, I'll read out. So the romanticizer is the dater who is in love with love. They believe in soulmates, they believe in the one, and they see love as a fairy tale. Anything less than that is beneath them, and they think that they are settling for the person. And then for this data, work and love do not go hand in hand. They believe that the love and relationship for them will be effortless, and therefore they will have to find the right person for them, and there is no room for imperfection. So I think they've created this ideal image of a partner for themselves. And if you don't completely match up to that list of what they have of the idea of a perfect romantic partnership, they can easily find themselves closing the doors like prematurely, or like just rejecting like you're not my person and moving on to explore other options. Yeah.
I mean, I guess a lot of people start out like that, right? Because like your idea of love is formed by maybe like dramas, K-dramas, where they find the perfect person. But then when you start dating, you also think that, oh, there will always be this like spark, this fairy tale type of love. And then they get their first heartbreak, and it's all you learn from that experience, and you know it's not like that.
It feels like they have a very young and naive image of love that is that one person and you're gonna be forever. I mean, I know of people who like they are still with their first love, but it's like you don't see it in every case. Like some people have to go through different experiences and then they find the person. Because everyone has different like thinking of what love is.
And I think like a signature of this romanticizers is they don't think it takes work, right? They think like, oh, it's a perfect match and that's it. And I've known people who have been together with their first love since JC, so maybe 17 years old till now 23. And it's not true that just because it's their first love, they didn't put in a lot of work. There were a lot of like ups and downs, there were like maybe mini breakups. So a lot of arguments, and then they make it work after so many years. Only 11% of couples experience love at first sight.
Oh, I can't really imagine. I feel like that's just a very surface kind of like thing, because you don't have experiences together yet.
But in your previous, the people that you have dated or you have liked in the past, did you experience that?
Actually, kind of. But it's like attraction. I
know
don't
what
call
you
it
mean.
love, right? It's like attraction at first sight.
Yeah, but that's what they mean, I think. Love at first sight. Yeah.
Okay.
So what percentage of it was love at first sight?
I only had one relationship before.
Like what about like dating?
I only dated once.
Okay.
So actually, right, I can't really speak based on experiences.
Then what are we doing in this podcast, guys?
Guys, that's why I think I need to devise a strategy to start.
Not us giving advice, like I've only been in one relationship and I've dated quite a few times. Yeah, I think like a lot of it, some were like more serious, but it always reaches a point after a few months that we decide we're not compatible, so we don't really advance into a proper relationship. Like we just break it off there. But I don't really regret it because like I've learned a lot about myself, about what I want, about like guys in general from all of that experience.
These behavior scientists also say that it's actually good to go out and date so you can know people and know yourself better through like experiences and reflections. So yeah, maybe I need to start devising a strategy.
Yeah, you got to do some market research, right? Some due diligence before, acquiring the company.
So some things, right, I think you can't discover it through self-reflection.
Yeah.
Some things you have to go through it. Then you will know how you react under some scenarios and situations. Then you know how better to become a better person. Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this happily after fallacy. Logan Ury. She was saying that happily after fallacy, right, is kind of derived from rom-coms and movies. And research shows that good relationships require people to invest in them. Just like how you say, people that got together with their first love, they've been very long and they've gone through a lot of different struggles together. She says that it's a myth that love is something that happens to you. And many people believe that dating apps are unromantic. Not gonna lie, I was one of them. I think I am trying to step out of the idea. So she says that people, actually this is for the romanticizers. I think I'm a bit, I kind of lie in the romanticizer. Yeah, so it's like people that are romanticizers, they feel that dating apps are unromantic. You'll just randomly hop on a plane and you meet the love of your life, and then, like
reach for the same apple.
And your hands touch.
Or like you're like rushing in the hallway, then you drop the papers and then they help you gather it. And you're like, Oppa?
So it's like the myth that love is something that happens to me, not I go and search for it. So do you think that people should put effort into meeting new people?
Or just expect it to happen by chance? No, I think you definitely have to put in effort. I mean, if you don't and you expect things to happen, then isn't that how incels are born? You know? Like they're just, at home with their computer and they're like, why doesn't anyone love me? But they're not even exiting their home. Yeah, I think it definitely is something that, like dating itself is something that has.
Hey everyone, so sorry the camera and mic stopped recording halfway, so there will be a slight dip in audio quality from here. This is the first time that this happened, and we are very new to podcasting, so thank you so much for your understanding, and I really appreciate you for tuning into 𝙤𝙤𝙘.
Has to be learned. Like you are born knowing how to love, but you're not born knowing how to date, right? I did the pre-reads. Joy sends me pre-reads before each episode, by the way. Yeah. So like you really have to go out there and practice. Because recently I met my friend and like my friend went on a date, but she felt very nervous because it was like one of her first dates. But then so she got really like scared and awkward. But actually like the guy was perfect, and she didn't want to go on a second date. But like I kept telling her like this was how it was when I first started out dating. Like I also didn't know how to act, but it really comes with experience and putting yourself out there.
Okay, let me just summarize how romanticizer limits you in dating. So it could be easy to say that romanticizers have high standards, and having standards in dating is actually a welcome aspect of dating. However, it's important not to confuse having standards with having unrealistic expectations. Though sacrifice isn't a necessity in the early stages of dating, compromise is sometimes needed in order to find someone who best fits you, even if it's not in complete alignment with your idea of who that someone would be. The person of your dreams could present themselves to you in a different package than you pictured, and you should work on allowing yourself to be more open to what they look like. Then let's move on to the next type. The second type is called the maximizer. So similar to the romanticizer, the maximizer also has unrealistic expectations that stems from the feeling that the people they are meeting and interacting with aren't their perfect partner. What differs slightly is the way it manifests. The maximizer cannot sit still in dating, let alone in a committed relationship, and are often feeling like the grass is greener on the other side. They wish the person they were dating had a little more stylish or a little less goofy, and they are in constant search of perfection that ultimately does not exist. There is a tendency to nitpick the fact that the person in front of them is not something enough, like not funny enough, not handsome enough, not pretty enough, or like not caring enough, which doesn't allow them to learn acceptance and the fact that no one can be everything to anyone. So I think the maximizer is someone that if let's say you're on a date and then you learn more about the person and then you think about how there's a lot more other options out there, and then you're constantly weighing the options.
I'm thinking of like what I can and cannot say, because like what if this end out the public and then like my dating life gets affected? Because okay,
but everyone has phones. I mean, I exposed mine as well. So.
I feel like for this, I was a victim of it like when I first started using dating apps.
I think a lot of people who use dating apps fall to this.
Correct. Like, but it's been a few years since I use it on and off, during summer break. I have nothing to do, then I use it. But yeah, when I first started using it, then you suddenly get so much validation in terms of like, oh, there's a lot of people like liking you, that a lot of people starting conversations with you, and then you end up having to like weigh your options. I think it's a very natural thing to do. But yeah, ultimately like what I realized was there isn't a perfect person, and while you're with person A, dating them, and then dating as in not in a relationship but just going out with them, then person B suddenly has some qualities that you admire. Then if you switch over to person B, you'll realize that person B is lacking a lot of the positive qualities that you took for granted in person A. So I think it's also called like the 80-20 rule. Yeah, like when you're in a relationship and then you see, oh, they're missing this a little bit, and then someone else has those qualities, but then you need to realize that your current person has 80% of what you want already. And you're just like taking it for granted, maybe because it's been a while. So I think that's something that we have to constantly remind ourselves about. and like be very like aware of it.
Actually, a lot of dating apps nowadays are designed to promote this actually because you can have so many options.
Yeah.
So this mindset is kind of manifest as well, thinking that you have a lot more options out there.
I decreased my height on the dating app.
Really?
Like just by okay, so I'm 163.5. So usually when people ask me in real life, I'll say I'm 164. But on dating apps, I put it as 163. I round it down because I feel like
they like shorter though.
Yeah. So but come on, it's 0.5 cm. We can round down or up, right? But there are guys who put 1.8 and I meet them and they're like 175. Like 5 cm is not something you can lie about.
Logan gave a tip, right, to throw away your checklist. So we were talking about surface qualities like looks and everything. But I feel like this is for people who are really planning to look for like a very serious settling down, like I want to get married, that kind of relationship, right? Is that she suggests that you look for long-term qualities rather than surface qualities. So the qualities that she mentioned are loyalty, emotionally stable, kind and compassionate, growth mindset, ability to make hard decisions, communicate well and fight well, and what side of you do they bring up. So she says that these qualities are actually the long-term qualities that you should be looking for when you're out for dating. Because I think maybe some people, they have not thought through what they are looking for in a partner.
Like they just go with the flow, like they are infatuated with someone and then they get together with them.
So I guess this is just a guide. If like you're thinking about what your checklist should be, I think this is like some qualities that are quite important.
So when they say throw away the checklist, they mean the checklist of shallow.
Yeah, so we did say like physical is part of it. But I think some people have like unrealistic expectations of physical.
Yeah, I agree. Like you have to look at yourself in the mirror too. And like match. Yeah.
Talking about this maximizer type of people in dating and relating it to dating apps. I think this is why a lot of people are experiencing the burnout phenomenon now.
Yeah, dating app fatigue.
Yeah, because there are a lot of people that are comparing their options, and then one of the most top reasons that they say why people get burnout is actually they get ghosted also. Yeah, so people that just don't say anything when they decide to stop talking to you. Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah, so how being a maximizer can limit you in dating, right, is that instead of watering the grass where they are, the maximizer misses out on finding love that could ultimately serve and grow them outside of what is perfect. Great relationships don't just happen out of thin air, they are created. And while it might actually be considered unproblematic that you are letting people go if you want to change them, the fact that you are constantly shutting potential down because you think the next date will offer you the next best thing in the form of your perfect partner is a ride that you will always be on. Until you learn the arts of compromising and acceptance, there will always be something better on the horizon. No one is perfect, and having a healthy relationship requires understanding that. Yeah, true. Okay, lastly, we have the hesitator. So, unlike the two previously mentioned styles, the hesitators' unrealistic expectations lie within themselves. So instead of shutting down romantic prospects because the meet cute isn't good enough, and because you don't like that person you're on a date with isn't into enough of the same hobbies as you, like the maximizer, the hesitator never feel like they are good enough to date anyone, hardly ever. So it's quite self-deprecating with the added touch of self-sabotaging. So they're always waiting for the right time to date and internalize not having the career they want, the body they want, the money they want, or the growth they want as barriers for them to re-enter the dating world. And even when they get to a place or accomplish a goal they might have for themselves, they still hesitate to start dating and find more reasons why the timing just isn't right for dating.
This one is like for people who just don't think they're like good enough to be in the dating scene yet. Okay, maybe I don't exactly know people who relate to this perfectly, but you know how a lot of guys like they keep thinking that they're too small, like their muscles are not bulging enough. Yeah, but it's like, you know, I had this friend who told me, okay, it's something along the lines of the day you start gymming is the day you realize you're never big enough. Yeah, because like before they gym, they didn't really care that much about their body type. But then once they start gymming, then there's no limit to how like, I mean, in their mind, there's no limit to how like good looking you can get, how big your muscles can get. So that's why they keep going, and then you get like body dysmorphia and everything.
That's true.
Yeah, and I think social media contributes to this in general because like when you start following, of course they will show you things you're interested in. So if you're interested in gymming, then you see guys who are like ripped and you're like, okay, I have to achieve that, I have to achieve that. But actually it's oftentimes it's not very achievable because these guys are on steroids. These guys are like in their cutting season and you cannot cut for the entire year. It's unhealthy for your body to have like 6% body fat the entire year. I think the same for girls. Like we keep seeing like very pretty girls on our explore page or FYP and you keep striving to be them, not knowing or even sometimes knowing that they actually have plastic surgery done, have Botox done, and that's just unrealistic and unhealthy for us to chase. So I think like some of these people who feel that they're not ready, they're just too sucked into this mindset of like they're not good enough. But hopefully they're able to realize that it's always a work in progress.
Yeah, it's like you will never be like perfect, right? So it's just
actually you can be perfect to the person who loves you. Like you can be oftentimes they are perfect in their partner's eyes or in their admirer's eyes, their friend's eyes. But it's they themselves that don't ever recognize it. You know, like it's very common for people to not realize how beautiful they are. Yeah.
It's like beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Exactly. Self-esteem is a hard thing to build.
Yeah, that's true. It starts from within.
Correct. Yeah. So like whatever advice that others give, it won't help unless they want to change.
So how being a hesitator can limit you in dating? The phrase best self comes to mind when thinking of what holds the hesitator back. That constant desire to be better isn't inherently bad, but it can become belittling when there are parameters placed of certain hoops that must be jumped through before someone deems themselves worthy of a partner and the relationship they want. There is only so much growing a person can do alone, and the self-work that is gained from navigating relationships and getting to know people outside of themselves is sometimes underestimated. At some point, a person just plateaus and there's no upward movement. I think this ties in very well with what I said just now, that some things you can't reflect through self-reflection. Some things you have to go through, experience it, and then you learn from it.
Agreed. Yeah, the best way to learn is to just experience.
Okay, that ties out that segment. So, Alexis, do you have any interesting dating stories to share with us?
I think I have one, but it's kind of like a warning story to girls.
Okay.
To like,
Girls.
you have to be very careful like when a guy asks you to go over to their place. And I know it sounds so obvious now, especially to those who are a little bit older and more mature in the dating scene. Like, okay, obviously he wants to do something. But at that time, I had just started using dating apps. And I was very, very innocent. I was very naive. This guy was like, he had this really cute cat. Okay, it was fluffy, the fluffiest white grey cat with blue eyes. And he's like, he always sends me tiny bubbles of it. And I was like, oh, I wish I could see it. And he's like, just come over, you can play with my cat. And I went.
Okay.
Like, it sounds so dumb now, but I went.
How long do you know that person for?
Like, we talked online for maybe 1 week. Okay, I was aware enough to say like, hey, I don't want to do anything. Like, I don't really want to cuddle.
Oh, you told him that?
I did tell him. But
So
you gotta realize that a lot of guys, I'm not saying all, but a lot of guys, they don't respect that. Like, they will just say, yeah, okay, knowing that they can like bait you over and convince you to do stuff. Yeah. So I went there and like, oh my god, what if my parents watch this? But okay, whatever, it's happened, it's already happened. But yeah, so I went there and his brother was home, his parents weren't home, and the cat was on the table. So his room was really small and he only had one chair. He was sitting on the chair and I was sitting at the edge of the bed and the table was like here. So him here, me here, the cat here. And the cat kept jumping off the table. So he would, and it would be awkward, right? Because I was there to see the cat and I was like, I wasn't that close to him, you know? So our first time meeting, he kept putting the cat back on the table. And it was, and you know, I was just petting the cat, talking, and this was the worst part. His door was slightly ajar and his cat jumped down and opened the door. I kid you not, it was like this. The door was ajar and with its paw, right? It pulled it slightly apart and it walked out. And I was like, like, what do I do now? So I was just sitting there really,
So
really
it was
stiff.
awkward, is it?
Yeah, it was really awkward. And then he went on to the bed. So I was at the edge of the bed and he went to lie down behind me. And he was like, "You're not tired, man." Oh my god. I was like, "No." And he's like, "Lie down lah. It's okay, lie down." I was like, "It's okay, I'm not tired." And I took my phone and I started scrolling through Instagram. And I was just like, oh my god, how do I get out of this situation? Because I had just arrived at the house, like he paid for like my Grab and everything. I had just arrived for like half an hour, maybe max. So it's very awkward to suddenly leave.
Yeah.
Then he pulled my shoulder down.
He
was behind
pulled
me.
you?
So he like grabbed my shoulder and then pulled me down. And like I know in situations like if my friend told me about this, I'll be like, just slap him and run, just leave the house.
But you didn't know what to do.
In the moment, it's very like you just freeze and it's scary because if you don't want to make it so awkward, like with very like strong rejection, but you also don't want to. You're also afraid that he might react badly and like what if he gets violent. So I think you shouldn't have been in the situation in the first place. But so I lay down and then I was super stiff. I was lying like this at the side of the bed, and then he picked me up and moved me upwards. He's like, "Hey, like got pillow, right?" And he moved me upwards. Then I was so stiff, and then he was like, and I was so scared. I just kept yapping, like I just kept talking because I didn't know what to do, and I was like using my phone. I was scrolling through Instagram and telling myself, okay, every few scrolls I have to stop so it looks realistic. Even though I was not processing anything on my phone, I was like, scroll, stop. And then he was like, "Hey, you're not cold, man." I was like, I'm not cold. But he's like, "Hey, come on, give you a blanket." Then he like, then I was so stiff. And then I just suddenly stopped talking. And by the way, he already had his legs over my legs. Yeah, and I was so scared. I was like, then I stopped talking.
You just freeze.
I just froze, yeah. And then, so that's why guys ask for, like, it's so obvious. Firstly, ask for consent. Secondly,
I know.
like, it's so obvious that I'm uncomfortable. Like, why would you just keep going? And then finally he asked, "Is this okay?" Because I stopped talking completely. And I was like, and then I pushed his arm away. I was like, this is okay. Even though, like, his legs and everything else was not okay. But I just pushed away his arm because that was the final straw. It's like, and then suddenly the door to his room opened. His parents came home early.
Parents walk in.
So the door opened, but his chair was behind. So it like stopped the door. Then he's like, "Oh, my parents are home early." And then I looked at him. I was like, "Do you need me to hide?" And then he was like, "It's okay. Just sit there. I'll just say you're my friend." Yeah. And then shortly after, I escaped and I never went back again. I was traumatized.
It's very traumatizing.
But I learned, and thankfully nothing.
So now if that happens again, you're gonna
uppercut,
self-defense.
a left hook, a right hook. Yeah. Okay, but actually, girls, like it's really hard to fight back against a guy physically. So just try to like avoid those situations or like tell your friends where you are. I used to like screenshot the guy's profile, his Instagram, his like phone number before I went on a date, and I'll send it to a close friend. Yeah.
Actually,
Always
that's very good advice.
Yeah, meet in public places, especially with the first date, the first few dates.
Right, because you don't know that person at all.
Correct, yeah.
You need to be aware that when you're on dating apps, it's really just a stranger.
Yeah. Actually, I'm personally curious about it. When do you know it's right to go from the dating phase, the dating talking stage, to like a proper relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend?
I feel like it's when you the qualities we say just now, you think that person has all those qualities and you want to continue meeting this person and dating this person, then you can kind of like be official. Like in terms of like you don't meet other people, is it? Or
no, like you can be exclusively dating but not in a relationship yet. You know what I mean? Like you're going out and stuff, and you're
actually
talking to each
so the difference is just that you do have terms, is it? like
Correct. You're not
boyfriend
boyfriend and girlfriend, yeah. When you're already like going out pretty regularly. Because
Actually, that's a very hard question.
yeah, like personally, I'm not even sure when it's a good time. Like, I feel like it's something you have to discuss with the other person because different people define relationships differently. Some define it as long as I'm exclusively dating, then I'll consider a relationship. For me, and maybe that's why I ended up with like all these situationships because we were exclusively dating, but we weren't in a relationship. And the reason why I hesitated was because I didn't see the long-term potential in some of them. And I just felt like, what's the point in getting together knowing that you may break up in a few months? So cases such as we get along very well, but they're going overseas to study for like 4 years in like 3 months, then I didn't really see the long-term potential. Yeah.
So actually, that's such a hard question.
Yeah, but I know of people who would be like, no, just get together first and see how it goes for these few months, and you decide the end now and see.
Actually,
and try and
sometimes
work it out.
that's the beautiful thing in life. Like in terms of like, you just want to try it out. Like in terms of, it was a good experience.
The romanticizer is coming up, but I understand. Live life in the moment. I am kind of like that.
Yeah, sometimes I would think like, yeah, it might not last, but like I want to at least try things out, and spend more time together. But then I can see where it can go wrong also.
Yeah, it just makes it so complex at the end. If you're sure that it won't last, and you get together, inevitably you will have to like have a breakup, and then it will be just so much more messy, in my opinion. But if you actually have even a small chance that you think that it is possible that it will last, and you want to try and work it out with that person, then in my opinion, then that's where I would get into a relationship. Yeah, but maybe I think more of a relationship than some.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Is that chance?
Yeah. The probability, like how high does it have to be before you decide to commit?
Yeah, honestly, there's no perfect answer to this thing. What's the chance?
Yeah, you just have to discuss with the partner.
Yeah, I think it's an effort from both sides also, and like having the serious discussion. Actually, sometimes I think the beautiful thing is in the journey. Like you go through things together, and then every obstacle you get through together.
Yeah.
That's something that brings you all closer. Or like every argument that you all resolve. Yeah. I think it comes down to like the qualities again you're looking for in the long term partner. And what I feel like it comes to what love is also to you. Because to me, right, I think love is, like you said, commitment. And okay, when I think about love, right, I'm just thinking of when I am like 60 years old, 70 years old. And then I'm still like walking with my partner down the street, holding hands. It's long lasting, and when you're old and you're retired, you have someone to be by your side. Yeah. It's like, if not, it's gonna feel like so lonely and everything,
Yeah.
I want someone that can like last through time. And that comes to mind lah. But then again, I think I'm the romanticizer coming out, because like you never know, because maybe the one couple you see, right, maybe they just got together.
Wait, yeah, true. One they're using on their hinge, right? Then they're set to 60 years old and above. You never know. It might be the first
I'm making
date.
up the story in my mind. Like, wow,
They met in a retirement home.
together for 60 years. Actually, we just met.
Yeah.
How about you? What's love to you? Do you have any specific scenario that comes to mind?
I think I always find it very heartwarming when I see those old couples,
Right.
who still have that passion in them. And even like when I see my parents, I mean, they've been together for like, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 years. No, it has to be 30 years if my brother is really 26. Yeah. So, I mean, it's nice that, I feel like they seem to be getting closer now that they don't just have to focus on me and my brother, because we're kind of grown. They go on trips, more trips every year, just 2 of them, instead of bringing me and my brother along.
That's cute.
And yeah, it looks like they're enjoying life a little more, and I'm really happy for them.
I think it's the fact that you have someone by your side, right? Going through different things with you, different stages of life, everything that you're going through. You have someone to share it with. I think that's the very heartwarming part.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the point of eating a really good 5-star Michelin star restaurant alone? It's about sharing it with people you love.
Yeah.
Friends or family. Yeah. For the single ones.
For us. Life doesn't come with meaning, right? It's like we create the meaning ourselves. So in terms of relationships, I think that's what it is also. Like you say, there's 7 billion people, but if you find a person and decide to live life with that person, I think it's through the experiences that you go through together, the conversations, all the difficult things that you manage through together, that gives the relationship a meaning. Yeah. And that meaning is yours to define. Yeah. And I think the fact that it's imperfect also gives it meaning. Because like we say, nobody is perfect. And persevering through all the difficult situations, that in itself also gives it meaning.
Yeah. But I would like to add a caveat that like, even though a relationship takes work, like you need to see when to let it go as well. Like it's not always about toughing it through. Sometimes if it's not right, if you're really experiencing more downs than ups, more pain than gain in the relationship, then maybe it's time to reconsider something else, especially if you've already tried to fix it.
Loyalty, emotionally stable, kind, growth mindset, ability to make hard decisions, communicate well, fight well, and which side of you do they bring out. Those are very important parts to evaluate.
Especially if it's you're looking for long term. But ultimately, I think there are so many different types of relationships, right? There's the long term, short term, situationship, like, I don't know, FWB, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like the most important one is the communication with your partner to see whether you're on the same page so no one gets that hurt.
So, you define what love is for you. Love can be commitment. Love can be settling. Love can be a decision to stay. Love can be a decision to trust. Love can be choosing someone again and again, even if someone better comes along. So that's it for 𝙈𝙊𝙘𝙃. Okay. Thank you and see you on the next episode of Connecting the Dots. Bye bye.